Hey, Max Muncy doesn't need your love, but he demands your respect. This is All Dodgers. Coming to you live from my home studio in Pleasant Grove, Utah, and his home studio in La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast with Clint Pasillas and Jeff Snider, part of the Believe network of podcasts. Today we are talking about Max Muncy, who continues to say, you know what, all of you who wanted me fired into the sun, guess what? You should be fired into the sun, because that's the kind of discourse Max Muncy believes in, and he just does it with his bat. Another grand slam, 6 more RBIs for Max Muncy tonight as the Dodgers beat the Rockies again. We're also going to talk about the strange things it took for Yoshinobu Yamamoto to finally get some run support from the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But first, please consider giving a thumbs up, hitting the subscribe button wherever you are on YouTube, listening, whatever. We would love to get to 16,000 subscribers. We're over 15,000. It's not like we're setting to shoot for the moon, but I have to warn you, after that, we're going to ask you to get us to 17,000. Yep. So if you're watching this and haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. We are the dynamic duo, 2/3 of the dynamic trio of producer Kevin, but tonight it's just us.
Yeah. This is a night for the boys to do a little Wednesday post game. The game that felt like it was going to be over an hour and a half ago, 3 hours ago, but we survived, we endured, and it was another one of those Colorado hellscape kind of games. You know, Coors Field. All of a sudden, it starts raining. I'm gonna drop it right away. Right away, it is rain support for Yamamoto tonight, because it literally took a little bit of act of God there to get ahead randomly. Apparently, I'm talking about Yamamoto already, but in our Discord chat, my buddy Corey OCJ had that one. It literally took an act of God to get the Dodgers some runs in this game.
Yeah, and the Dodgers scored 3 runs while Yamamoto was technically in the game. He had thrown his last pitch. We didn't know that at first because the rain delay is the reason he had thrown his last pitch. The fact is he was pitching well enough to go 7 or 8 innings tonight. The rain is the reason he didn't, but they got 3 runs. He got the win, and the Dodgers get the win over the Rockies, and a lot of that is because of Max Muncy, who did drive in those first 2 runs with help from the rain. If you weren't watching, you should have been. Second and third, 2 outs. The rain starts coming down during Max Muncy's at bat. He works a full count and then hits a pop-up, routine pop-up in the infield to end the inning, except Thairo Estrada and Michael Toglia both couldn't see the ball. You can see it on the screen if you're here. Estrada calls for it and then says, holy crap, I have no idea where the ball is. And then Toglia just panics. When Estrada starts throwing his arms around, Toglia is like, crap, am I about to die? And he almost did.
That was a little close.
His noggin by like 2 feet.
Yeah, that had to be frightening to watch that ball drop like 2 feet next to your right foot, but we will take it immediately after. Of course, the umpire smartly, call rain delay there, because clearly it was getting dangerous for just about everybody involved. But Muncy will take it, like you mentioned earlier. 6 RBI night, 2 of those kind of freebies. One of them not so much, because Max decided to do that thing he does oh so well, and he lowered the boom, as we'll call it. Throw this one up on the screen here. Max, that's another grand slam. That's 2 grand slams in 3 games if you're counting, and 4 days since the last one or whatever. That's pretty good to see. I think Max is feeling himself. Not this button. I wanted this one. How about that? 42 RBI over his last 37 games after only 9 over the first 39. That's a dude who's locked in. That's a dude who has the eyes, the glasses working, the chiropractor working, whatever else. It's all coming up Max Muncy.
Everything is working for Max Muncy. And, it was kind of a topic of conversation. Why did the Rockies bring in a right-handed reliever to face Max Muncy? And, I mean, the short answer is they only have one left-handed reliever, and he's a rookie with an 8.36 ERA who threw an inning and a third yesterday.
Yeah.
And so not like they had great options. You could make a case that Kinley, who they brought in, was maybe the worst option. But you know what? It's the Rockies bullpen. I watched the beginning of this game on my phone, watching my son play a baseball game, and one of the aunt of one of my son's teammates is a fellow big Dodger fan. We commiserate or celebrate the Dodgers together whenever we see each other. And she hollered down to me, she said, "Hey, Jeff, are you watching the game?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "What's the score?" I says, "Nothing in the second." And her dad says, "Nothing, Dodgers favor, huh?" And I said, "You know what? we're 2 innings closer to the Rockies bullpen. So yeah, Dodgers favor because let's face it, this Rockies bullpen is a big part of the reason these Rockies are on pace to be the worst team ever. After last year's White Sox are the worst team ever. These Rockies are on pace to be worse than them. We'll see if they get there. They may actually hit a cold streak and win a couple games.
Again, this is important. We improve our division lead over the Rockies at 31 and a half games. I feel pretty confident right now. Like the Rockies, they're not going to have a good chance of coming back in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But
so
I mean, that
bad.
lead was less than 30 games just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers are starting to put some distance between themselves and the Rockies. Unfortunately, weren't able to put more distance between themselves and the Padres. The Padres shut out the Nationals today. Last I heard, the Giants and Marlins are in extra innings. I haven't seen an update on that. We were preparing for this. But, Muncy hitting that grand slam just – that's one. Sometimes I've mentioned this a few times on that other show I used to be on. Like Muncy has gotten to the point where if he comes up with a runner on third and less than 2 outs, he's one of the guys I'm most confident in that he's going to find a way to get him in. In this case, though, there were 2 outs, right? When he hit that grand slam, there were 2 outs. Yeah, because Teoscar popped out to end the inning. So, I mean, I guess we should give a little credit to Freddie Freeman, who battled to earn the walk before that. Freddie Freeman very easily could have ended that inning before Muncy ever got the chance to bat with bases loaded. He didn't. He earned a walk. And sometimes people say, they don't give credit to walks because they think it's just bad pitching. That was a Freddie Freeman walk. He earned that. He fouled off some tough pitches that probably weren't in the strike zone, that maybe peak Freddie Freeman walks a few pitches earlier than this version of Freddie did. But for him to get that walk, get Muncy up there to the plate, and with 2 outs, you need something big. I would have been happy with the 2-run single, honestly.
Yeah.
But I was twice as happy with the 4-run homer.
And also
4 is twice as much as 2.
This
Hashtag
is
math, baby.
This is true. This is not a math show. I guess it is a math show now because you're here.
Now that I'm here.
And this is what we do. But yeah, I mean, just quieting all the haters. And of course, like I dipped my toe into, not the hater. I mean, I always hoped Max Muncy would figure it out. But and I also eventually want to talk Freddie. I think I know we can have a good conversation because you and I were talking before the game, and you did that thing where you look up numbers and all of that. But to see our guy Maximus going off, I put those numbers up, a second ago, how good he's been in the second half. You said it at the top of the show. Respect Max Muncy. This is a dude who's second right now in NL all-star voting at third base. I mean, maybe it's the homer in me. It's definitely the homer in me. But I kind of feel like this dude is playing a better brand of baseball for a better baseball team than Manny Machado in the National League. But most importantly, he is the guy who is helping Freddie Freeman go through his struggles, Teo go through struggles at different point. Mookie Betts kind of, giving them a little bit of leash because he's coming up there and doing damage more often than not in recent vintage, and that just helps everybody involved. I know, shocker of a statement right there. Before we continue, though, because we got a lot of Dodger baseball to talk about. We got a couple super chats as well. I do want to make sure I tell people about BetOnline because BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season, as we know, is in full swing. Football season is around the corner. BetOnline has more ways to stay in the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting right over there at BetOnline. From MLB, UFC, tennis, NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering info this year, all the years. Trust me on this one. You guys are going to like it. But anyways, in between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino. They have all the top Vegas-style games, including poker. There's a live casino there, some blackjack, all that kind of stuff. Do check it out. Head to the website today. Take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses, weekly cash boosts, and all of that kind of stuff. BetOnline. Game starts here, and the show resumes now. Go.
So, Max Muncy, he got our love. He got our respect. He's got both of those from us. I do think Freddie Freeman deserves a little bit of a conversation here. Freeman continues to struggle, but we talked about it. He worked that walk, and then I know some of it is just wishful thinking on my part, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. That last at bat by Freddie Freeman, he lined into a double play. Bad outcome. And Eric Karras kind of joked, we're not into process here. We want results. And, that joking that's not going to make Freddie feel any better that he hit the ball well. But he didn't just hit the ball well. He hit the crap out of that ball. He hit 107.7 miles an hour, expected batting average nearly 800, meaning nearly 80% of the time that ball is a hit. And I looked, and the last time Freddie hit a ball that well was 36 days ago. May 20th, he hit a double against the D-backs and off Ryan Nelson. Hit that one 107.5, so not quite as hard on this one, but a double to the right center field gap. That's the last time Freddie hit a ball this well. He's only hit a ball even close to as hard as that one time in those 36 days, and that was a hard ground ball that had a 190, just a hard ground out 190 expected batting average against the Padres last week. Besides that, like, he hasn't hit a ball that well in over a month. And with him searching and him, we heard he's been going through mechanical changes, trying to identify what's going on. That might be something that said, hey, that felt good. I'm going to do that again. Because the fact is, if Freddie Freeman hits the ball like that every time, mathematics says he's going to get a hit nearly 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Something
like that. I'm not doing the math.
That's why he's not going to hit it that well, because you can't hit the ball that well every time. But if he hits the ball that well once a game, it's May version of Freddie Freeman again. Like, Freddie is back. Like, some of those he'll get a little air under him and they'll get out of the park. He'll get a lot more doubles. Like, hitting the ball 107.7 miles an hour is always a good thing, even when the results aren't what you want them to be.
And like you mentioned too, like I think that walk, there were some signs of him feeling a little bit closer, probably seeing the ball a little bit better. Because I think beyond whatever mechanical might be going on for Freddie, he is not. So I don't think he's seeing the ball well. I don't think he's choosing the right pitches to attack to. That's why to attack, which is why you're seeing him chase away, down and away a whole lot. He looks late on fastballs a whole lot. So like you had mentioned, having him actually hit a baseball hard again and what did I say just before we went live? Is like him hitting the ball hard up the middle is the precursor to him finding some grass towards the opposite field, towards left field, and then he just finds all the field, and that's what that's what Freddie Freeman does. Never ever do you worry about Freddie Freeman, but it's good to see signs of maybe tomorrow afternoon is the day where Freddie gets to take advantage of Coors Field like everybody else is in this series.
Yeah, and it is one at bat. Like, we don't want to overblow it, but the results there, and by results I mean the quality of contact, not the results of the 2 outs on the field, but the quality of contact has to be something that at least it's his last time. He can go to bed tonight feeling like, hey, I hit the crap out of the ball. And even if he just comes to the ballpark tomorrow feeling happier and knowing I can do that. I'm hitting 3 doubles today. It could be the day. And if so, you'll have to say, hey, all Dodgers told me this was going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, you just forget that we had this conversation. That's how this works, people. Selective memory is important when you're a fan of a podcast.
This is fair. We got some super chats, by the way. I want to run this one. Bacon Tree, which just a phenomenal username.
Delicious.
Yeah, I mean, if I can grow a bacon tree, I would 100% do that. But says MV3 has been Garbo. I mean, that's obviously a bit of a stretch, but from what we expect, sure, a little bit, but still tied for best record in MLB with with an IL 4 miles long. Shows that Will, Max, Andy, and even Tommy Edman, especially with runners in scoring position, all snapping up. And we do have to talk about Yamamoto through 56 pitches through 5? He made it through 5 innings before the rain got him. He also mentions Mike Sirota stud. We'll talk about the guy they acquired for a friend of the show, Gavin Lux, in a future episode. But where do you want to go from there?
It's worth mentioning, when he says MV3 has been Garbo, when we were getting ready for this episode, we were kind of joking that this game kind of shows how high the expectations are for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
He was on base 4 out of 5 times and scored 2 runs, and it felt like a bad game. Like
he's here to hit dingers, man. He's got to hit dingers.
1 hit. One of the 4 times he got on base doesn't count as a time on base because it was catcher's interference, so that goes down in the book as an 0 for 1. But he was 1 for 3 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored, and it felt like a bad game. That kind of tells you where our standards are for what we expect from Shohei Ohtani, and I don't mind that. I think it's good to have a guy who's so good that you could be disappointed at him being on base 4 times and scoring 2 runs.
Yeah, I would love to be that good at anything in my life. The fans, the people in the chat are good at giving us some love here. We got some super chats. I do want to remind people, hit that like button, subscribe, do all those sorts of things. That does really help out the channel. As Jeff said earlier, we're trying to hit 16,000, and after that 17,000, and then eventually 20,000, and then 400 million subscribers shortly thereafter.
400 million. We should just jump straight to that one.
I mean, we could do that.
We could finally make a living doing this if we got 400 million subscribers.
Borrow some subscribers from Dude Perfect or something like that. But we got a $4.99 super chat from our friend Richie Flores. And you know there's a hashtag free Richie in there. But he says, Mad Max, looking like Mad Max. Apologies being accepted on the Dodgers Twitter account. And he says also, rip to Haesung Kim playing his playing time. Because Conforto he's taking a little bit of advantage of Coors Field. And I did want to talk Conforto. We do have a couple more super chats, other chats going off, guys. We appreciate you rocking with us in the chat, as my buddy Doug McCain might say. But we have to talk Mike Conforto before we talk Yamamoto, because it's another multi-hit game for Conforto here, and another one with the shot heard around the green room here, because Jeff, you called this shot seconds before it happened. The Conforto 2-run or solo bomba 2-run homer, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was right after the double play, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. The solo shot. That's where you're like, it's
right after the strike him out, throw him out.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was. That's basically a double play. But yeah, home runs in back-to-back games. 431 at Coors Field. I'm wondering, do you just leave him at Coors Field?
You know what? And we talked about this the other day. The fact that he has hit the ball hard this year, and so it was almost like this was a challenge series for him. Hey, guess what? You're going to start all 3 games at Coors, because if you can't get right at Coors Field, you're not going to get right. And so the big question now will be, okay, even if he goes 0 for 4 tomorrow, this is a good series. He had a good series at Coors, and now the question will be, okay, can you keep it going in Kansas City? Can you keep it going when we come back to LA? Momentum, to the extent that it exists, he needs to get the good momentum going.
Yeah.
And, one of the things we talked about with Kevin the other day was at Coors Field, one of the things you need to do is just get rewarded for hitting the ball well. Because and we were talking about mostly the context of hitting some line drives and just finding grass. But for Conforto, if it goes over the wall, that's great too. But he also has a double and a single. He is being rewarded for hitting the ball hard. And so hopefully that mindset can continue on and say, guess what? It's not as easy to hit everywhere else as it is at Coors, but still, if you hit the ball well, you're going to be rewarded. And, Michael Conforto, throughout his career, has been a lot better than he's been this year. So the question is he terrible now, or has it been bad luck? And if it's bad luck, is there a chance that it might turn around?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of luck in there for sure, a little bit of luck going his way. And I was going to say, I'm sure on the bus ride back to wherever the Dodgers stand in Colorado, he's got a little Violent Femmes on the MP3 player, if the kids still have that, playing some Good Feeling, because won't you stay with me a little bit longer? He would like to have this good feeling going. But I do wonder if it's the Colorado effect, the Coors effect, or they did mention that, obviously, what was it, about 6-7 days ago, we heard from Dave Roberts, like, hey, Haesung Kim is going to be in the lineup more, or more so, we're going to give Conforto a little bit of a blow. Apparently, there was something mechanical identified with the swing, and since he's been in the lineup here, it just happens to coincide with a series in Colorado. I don't know if the swing looks any better or different, or the contact looks any better or different, but the results are better and different. Do you think there's anything to that, or is it just finally a little bit of luck on his side?
No, I hope it has to do with the mechanical tweak, because I always buy an improvement more if it's tied to something you actually did, whether it's, Max Muncy's chiropractor or Gavin Lux meeting with, or, on the pitching side, you have these things all the time, like Tanner Scott figuring out that he was flying open, those things like, okay, I made a change and the results got better. I can buy into that. And so I hope it's related to the mechanical thing. There's nothing my naked eye can pick up, but I'm not, as Seth mentioned in a super chat that we haven't gotten to yet, I'm good at English and math, not necessarily TV hitting coaching.
Yeah, you're not the all Dodgers. What's his name? Mark DeRosa, who loves doing his hitting breakdowns. By the way, I mean, he did. I'm going to hit the gong, by the way. Thank you very much, Seth Klein, for the $5 super chat. But he did a good piece, did D-Row, on Andy Pages and where the change kind of really came from. Obviously it came from within, but there was a mechanical change in his leg. He had the kind of toe tap going, and instead he went with almost an a la Justin Turner leg kick, and I really hadn't processed that, so it was cool to see the side-by-side, and that's one of the few things MLB Network still does well. But yeah,
and you can also go back to Max Muncy a year or two ago with the step back when he got out of his slump. There's things like that. By the way, when you mentioned Violent Femmes and Michael Conforto, I thought you were going to talk about the song that he must be listening to the first part of the season, Why Can't I Get Just One Hit?
That's you earned another one.
For all our younger listeners, go listen to some Violent Femmes.
Yeah. Dust off your parents' 8 tracks.
Hey, Richie will like that Just One Kiss song because that's got some F words in it for him. So.
Hashtag free Richie. Kevin Uhas also with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. He says, tell your 80% math to Conforto, which I planned on using to lead us into Conforto talk, but appreciate Uhas and the support and everybody else supporting the show, supporting independent Dodgers coverage tonight so far. Listen, we've talked a lot about the offense. We have not talked about your ace, my ace, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Had himself a heck of a half of a game, 56 pitches, like we said, through the 5 innings, 1 hitter going, had the 6 Ks, and eventually, as we said, active God to get him some runs. It took the rain and what was it, 40-minute delay to eventually help get him a win, his 7th on the year, I believe.
I think he's 7-6 now. Yeah. So,
what a guy.
Barely over 500. Guy's really struggling. Obviously it was a bummer that we couldn't see what Yamamoto could do to keep going, because like I said, he probably could have gone 7 or 8. But he also could have run into some bad luck and given up some runs, so maybe to throw a scoreless outing at Coors Field, even if it's shortened by the rain, again, if we're talking about Freddie Freeman feeling good on the bus right back to the hotel, Michael Conforto feeling good on the bus right back to the hotel, Yamamoto has to be feeling good that, you mentioned early, like the Dodgers, you survive Coors Field.
Yeah.
Yamamoto survived his start at Coors Field. He'll have maybe one more start at Coors Field this year, and to come out of it healthy with your ERA better than it was going in, a win under your belt, a win for the team, it's about all you can hope for. And, we joked when Will Klein came out for a second and like, oh, poor Will Klein, 2 innings. That means he's getting optioned tomorrow.
100%.
After Lou Trevino couldn't get through a full inning, they needed those 2 innings from Will Klein because they had to cover 4 innings with the bullpen. And thankfully, thanks to Max Muncy's grand slam too, it's like, hey, Will Klein, why don't you go use your good stuff that maybe you don't always know where it's going.
Yeah.
Get us through these last 2 innings. We'll send you back to Oklahoma City, but we will remember this. We will appreciate it. Hopefully get you a World Series ring. And you know what? Go hone that stuff in AAA and come back when you're ready to be Michael Kopech Part 2.
I like it. I'm all in on it. I'm in on random dudes. The Dodgers win this year. They're going to be giving out a lot of rings. A lot of just random rings. I wonder if they weren't a part of the team, should they get the front office ring that isn't as good?
Yeah. When who was it? Eduardo Salazar, he got his World Series ring. And it's like, Eduardo, he earned the crap out of that ring in that one appearance or whatever.
I saw somebody mention that very recently-ish on social media, and I was like, he was on the team? I listen, I watch a lot of Dodger games. I don't pay attention to all of them that much, is for sure. Richie,
back on an old podcast I used to do, we did a segment called Obscure Former Dodger. And these last couple of years would have just been a gold mine for Obscure Former Dodger.
We appreciate that. We also appreciate Richie hanging out with us. As if Conforto can do this at sea level, he's going to be impressed. So hopefully, like you said, he can continue his hitting. Going back to Conforto and talking about what Richie's talking about here, if he can continue this in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium, we're going to feel a lot better. And also hashtag free Richie to help to help our boy out there. We got some love early in the chat from Jose saying glad that the two of us got together. He was worried about his Dodgers podcast fix for a few days. And I do want to shout out the fine folks for finding the audio version of the podcast a lot more since Jeff has joined here. I have the voice for TV and you have the face for radio, so our combination here actually gives us decently balanced analytics for what we do as a podcast. So we appreciate you guys and your support. But I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there. But final thoughts before we consider moving to signing off here.
Have I told you about the dream I had that one time about Oral Hershiser? I dreamed that
Listen,
Oral Hershiser.
I mean,
don't worry, we both had our clothes on.
Yeah, I'm just saying you dreaming about Oral. Continue.
Hey, Oral Hershiser in my dream told me that I had a face made for radio and a voice made for newspaper. So I appreciate that from the Bulldog, even though it didn't really happen. Last night I dreamed that Hae-Sung Kim came up to pinch hit and was wearing Mookie Betts' helmet, and so it didn't have ear protection on the correct side, and his C-flap was covering the cheek that wasn't exposed to the ball. So I have some pretty exciting baseball dreams, I'll tell you what.
Do we need to take you to therapy? It's curious. They seem like weird dreams.
It hasn't helped yet, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with some weird baseball dreams.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm okay with that. And I mean, I'm proud of you for dreaming in exactly like that's Bulldog to a T. As you know, you've met him enough, you've been around him enough. That is Bulldog to a T, saying that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyways, what else you got before we consider signing off? Court was asking earlier in the chat, like, why is Emmett Sheehan in AAA? I'm wondering if we save that for another episode. I know our boy Kevin Skinner is planning on talking about the future of Dustin May with this team in a video coming up on the channel pretty soon. So I'm sure there's gonna be some Emmett Sheehan talk mixed in there. But yeah, if you don't got anything else,
we could at least mention the context for that. If you hadn't heard, Emmett Sheehan made his latest start in AAA today and went 6 innings and allowed 0 base runners and struck out 13 batters and had a bunch of swings and misses. That tweet doesn't say how many. I know it was a lot, 14 or 15 swings and misses. Just dominated in AAA. And there will be more to say about that. I mean, the fact is, I think if we're talking about feeling good on the bus ride home, Emmett Sheehan would not have thrown 6 perfect innings with 13 strikeouts at Coors Field today.
That's fair.
He would have done better. He would have done well. I have no doubt that Emmett Sheehan could have won a game against the Rockies today, but he wouldn't have had the game that he had. And so if we're talking about building up your physical and building up your confidence, I think Emmett Sheehan's confidence is at an all-time high right now after this performance. And so when he does come back to the big leagues, which will be as soon as he's eligible, if not sooner, if they find a reason to put somebody on the injured list, I wouldn't be surprised if his next start is in the big leagues, and he will be coming into it at an all-time high in confidence, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, I think that's how you said it when you sent that to me and Kevin earlier. It's like he literally just said, "Hey, I am done here at AAA." That is screaming. There's no reason for me to be here anymore. Outside of let's avoid Colorado at all costs. Speaking of Colorado and avoiding it, unfortunately, as we talked about in the series preview, Clayton Kershaw does go on the bump for the Dodgers tomorrow. And listen, I love me Kershaw Day. Give me Kershaw Day every day for the rest of my life. But I would prefer to not see him in Colorado, as I waxed on about and waxed off about on Tuesday's show, which was only yesterday. And oh my, today is the longest Monday of my life, is all I'm saying. But anyways, Dodgers playing 12 o'clock Pacific time, Coors Field. Kershaw on the bump against somebody. Was it Gomber? I think something like really, really bad Rockies
Austin
pitcher.
Gomber. Yeah, he was the headline return in the Nolan Arenado trade. So that's working out well.
Hey, he's got jokes.
If I remember right, Austin Gomber was a starter for the Rockies in that one guy's first start for the Dodgers. The guy who is pitching in Japan now. I'm pretty sure his first start for the Dodgers was against the Rockies, and it was against Austin Gomber. I could be wrong about that, but that's what my brain remembers, and so that's good enough for me.
Your brain is usually pretty bulletproof at remembering things. I don't know how bulletproof it is against bullets, but we don't need to find that one out. That would be rude. We just brought you aboard. I would hate to be without you.
Yeah, don't murder me.
But beyond that, I don't know what we're going to have on the channel tomorrow. We still got to figure that one out. But I will be live with Alana Rizzo on Dodgers territory post game tomorrow. So do check that out. And also, everybody
You know
should
what?
listen.
Since your post game is in the afternoon, maybe we'll just do something in the evening. You know what?
6
We like
p.m.
talking about the
stream,
Dodgers.
whatever. Yeah.
So.
Somebody will be here. I'll be around, or if it's you and Kevin, whatever it is. But the most important thing is if you guys want to see that, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell also so you know when we go live as well, because sometimes YouTube notifies people, other times it doesn't. It's kind of a bit of a crapshoot, but I think that's about it. Appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat with us. You guys have been great, killing the game tonight as always. Diane Pinsanity, I'm seeing at the end here. Don't Care 187, who was at the All Dodgers meetup we just had at the stadium on Sunday, where Max Muncy hit his first grand slam of the season. I think it was his first, but it was his second most recent.
Yeah, I saw somebody gave away some memberships too. We ought to.
Oh, really? Did I miss that one? Oh yeah, it's my guy IB Strokin. How about this dude? Love that man. He was gifted 5 memberships to the channel, I believe I saw right here. It all blends, but. Guys, if you did just get gifted a membership with that, you get access to our Discord server. If you guys are looking to, if you didn't get one in time and you're looking for a membership and you're looking to join us on Discord, do check out patreon.com/realfrg or click the join button here on YouTube. It's $5 a month to support independent Dodgers coverage. But with that, you get a whole lot more. You get access to our Discord. We're talking Dodger baseball in there all day long, all year long. I'm in there. Jeff's in there. Kevin's in there. And a lot of your internet friends are in there as well, so it's a lot of fun talking Dodger baseball. But we have the meetups, we have watch parties. We're pretty soon going to have our first members only live stream here, unless people prefer just to do another watch party, which they might. We'll figure that one out. But this is your show, guys. We're just hosting it to throw another Doug McCain-ism in there, my boy.
And our names are on it, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. Something like that.
Let's face it, it's our show.
It is our show. It is our show. We'll do whatever we want. Dad gummit. I got a dad gummit in there for you. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the comments, the questions, the engagement, the super chats here on the show, the gifting of memberships as well. You guys really do warm our hearts. Some of them are more blackened and broken, as like mine, I should say. Thank you to the people who already support the channel and all that kind of stuff. You guys rock. Shout out to the mods for doing a great job in the chat as well. That guy is Jeff Snider. Find him as Snydog on the Twitter. And that guy he's pointing at is Clint Pasillas. That's me. Find me as Real FRG on all the social media platforms. Shout out to All Dodgers being presented by Bet Online. Shout out to All Dodgers too. Why not? Like the show, subscribe to the show. It's free. Rate and review the show on the podcast platforms. It really helps us out. Listen there too if you didn't listen here. And I think that's about it. I've talked enough. We'll see you on the next one of these. Bye.
Bye.